Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with TP-Link. Today's hosts are Glenn Leonore, the Territory Account Manager, as well as Michael Solomon. He is their Customer Support Engineer. They're both on with us today making this presentation together. And they will both, whomever, Glenn or Michael, will answer your questions at the end of today's presentation. So make sure, fill up that question box for us, and we greatly appreciate it. Glenn, Michael, we're so happy to have you with us today. Please go ahead and take it on over.
All right. Thank you, Julie, and thank you, Microcom, for allowing us to have this space to talk about TP-Link Omada. My name is Glenn Lenore. I am the West Coast Territory Manager here at TP-Link. With me today, Michael Solomon, my Customer Support Engineer for TP-Link Omada. Today, we're going to guide you through TP-Link Omada and show you some of the features, the benefits, and talk about the controllers and exactly how to utilize TP-Link Omada to its best of abilities. To begin, TP-Link Omada, the smarter cloud solution for business networking. We integrate routers, gateway switches, access points, and more into a fully software-defined solution, an SDN. Omada provides 100% centralized cloud management to create a highly scalable network, all controlled from a single interface, anywhere, anytime. TP-Link Omada is specifically designed for use in hospitality, education, retail, offices, and more, providing scenario-based products with diverse benefits. These benefits can consist of full Wi-Fi coverage, flexible guest control, seamless roaming, in retail environments, boost online business, flexible guest control, seamless roaming, and high concurrent clients. Another feature that we were going to talk about today would be VPN configurations, AI management for fast roaming to support, Apple clients, CLI, as well as PoE schedules and PoE auto reboots. All this can be managed and controlled through Omada. So moving forward to Omada. So TP-Link Omada SDN, we like to utilize or explain this in two ways of management. One way would be the hybrid cloud, and the other one would be cloud controller. The cloud controller has a licensing fee of $10 per year per device. On the on-prem cloud controller, we offer two ways to manage it as well. One being the software controller, where you deploy your own internet servers or private clouds. Or the second one would be two versions of our hardware controller, the OC200 and the OC300. Today, Michael's going to talk more about the hardware controllers and the features and benefits. So I'll leave it to Michael, and we could talk about the OC200 and 300.
Okay, sure. For our hardware controllers, we have two different types. Depends on the number of devices that the hardware controller can handle.
Yep.
For the OC200, it can handle up to 200 access points, 20 switches, and 10 routers, and around 1,000 clients. For the OC300, it can handle about 500 access points, 100 switches, and 100 routers, and it can also manage or handle about 15,000 clients. But both of them can do all the other features like batch configuration, batch firmware upgrading. Both of them you can use the USB port to back up your configuration. You can do multi-site management by creating multiple sites, or multiple offices or stores, depends on your topology.
Yep.
And also, both of them are accessible by free cloud access through our Omada Cloud portal.
Yes, and that's the benefit with TP-Link Omada is when you do multi-site management, you have the preference to utilize either the hardware controller software as well as the cloud, or all three, depending on how you see fit per the client.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're gonna look at more on the hybrid topology, especially on the hybrid cloud, right? How we sit on the network. Is that right?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, right. As you see here, if you're using, for example, the hardware or software controller, this is how it looks like. So you put the router, connect the router to your ISP connection, and then you can add the switches or access points, and then the hardware or software controller will be connected to our switches, and at the same time they will be connected to the cloud service.
Yeah.
So how the topology looks like, it looks like this diagram, and at the same time you have two different types of management interfaces, either through the app, Omada app, or web browser. The web browser is the best choice, or we recommend to use web browser. Omada app, it's another option, and it's very useful for basic troubleshooting and get some notifications from your controller.
Yeah, that configuration of the QR code works really well too when you're provisioning APs and switches on the network. Awesome. So on the topology for the CBC, it's a little much easier, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So want to explain this?
Yeah, sure. For cloud-based controller, it's very easy. It's already on the cloud. Once you connect your devices to the internet and adapt them to the cloud-based controller, it will be managed by our cloud-based controller.
Yeah.
And the same idea like the software and hardware controllers, you have two options to manage your CBC or cloud-based controller, either through the app or web browser.
Yeah, and the cloud-based controller is only, if you're just mainly going cloud-based controller on certain devices, it'll be $10 per year per device. And so if hardware is applied on there, you don't need to actually have that. Those fees don't apply. So that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. But overall, we want to make sure that your business networking solution will look like this, right? 10 gig router in the front, in the beginning, second layer, full 10 gig SFP switches, followed by either gigabit, multi-gig ports for supporting either access points, voice over IPs, and IP cameras. And you have the ability to either do the hardware or the cloud specifically and still control it remotely, correct?
Correct.
Excellent. Awesome. Obviously, we like to show our cloud management on the Omada app. Like Michael said earlier, it's a great way to view and monitor the network, but we recommend utilizing the web browser on a laptop to fully configure and update any type of solutions on the customer's topology.
Yes, exactly. And one more feature about the app, once you install it and add your TP-Link ID to that app, it will give you like notifications from time to time about your hardware controller. If any one of your devices goes offline, you will get notification from the app.
Yeah, correct. So that being said, Omada has a lot of features, and what we want to do is focus in on three areas: efficiency, security, and reliability. Right? Those are three factors that a lot of our customers are looking for. Obviously, you see the hardware, the hybrid cloud, and the full cloud provide the centralized cloud management solution, right? But we also have fast roaming, AI roaming, PUE auto recovery, PUE scheduling, CLI configurations, which makes it all easier to monitor. And then on the security side, you have your VLAN configurations and other abundant security features that help support, depending on exactly, if you have a router gateway on the topology. And then with the reliability, 99.99% SLA availability and the reliability of connections with high density clients. All this gives you the ability to configure, control, and manage Omada SDN. And we're going to talk more on the efficiency features, especially with fast roaming, right? And that's one key feature where a lot of our customers utilize Mac specific devices,
yes,
iPhones, iPads, And we noticed that these devices tend to get sticky on certain APs. What we've actually created on our features, on our advanced features on Amada, is a fast roaming AI roaming, correct?
Yes, correct. So once you're moving, let's say you're doing Wi-Fi calling over the Wi-Fi, and our controller within the access point, when you're moving between access points in a big area like shopping mall or outdoor area, the controller will move your information to the nearest access point,
Yes.
depends on your location,
Correct.
without any interruption.
Yeah, it makes life so much easier, especially for non-Android users. It provides their MAC address to be less sticky and pushes their to their devices to the other APs on the mesh network, which is so awesome. And then another feature is the Peewee auto recovery, right? So this is actually a picture of our Amada site of our topology, live topology on our network. Right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
From here, you can see all the uplinks between your switches and your router. You can also see your devices and which port they are connected to.
Correct. But what we're going to focus on is the one in the center with the red exclamation mark. That's letting us know that there's something wrong with the switch, and we need to run something to repair it on system faults, right?
Yes.
Peewee Auto Recovery does a perfect example to do that, and on that feature as well.
Yes. Yes. If you would like to do something like power cycling any device, you can do that through our feature, which is Peewee Auto Recovery.
And that reboots that particular port and allows that port to actually reboot to make sure we could efficiently do it remotely. If it still has to be repaired, now you could send your trucks out to either replace or configure, see what's going on exactly with that particular switch. Another feature going forward is the Peewee scheduling. Right, this is a great benefit for certain APs that may be on late at night, correct? Or?
Yeah, if you have any Peewee device and you would like to save some power, what you can do, it's very easy. You can just you can create a Peewee schedule and tell the switch to turn on this access point or any Peewee device during working hours, and the switch will turn off that device after working hours.
Yeah.
That's a quick example about Peewee schedule.
Correct. Then finally, CLI configurations. This is great for Cisco engineers, correct? That utilize the CLI script.
Yeah, if you're familiar with Cisco terminal, you can use this feature here. You can do it with gateway, switch, and access point by running CLI commands like enabling mode, system configuration, show running configuration, all of these.
Yeah, excellent. One area that I know that a lot of customers have been looking for, featured especially on Amada, is the surveillance VLAN. Right, this allows the customers to configure their VLANs onto their networks. And if you want to explain more on that.
Yeah, sure. So the main usage for VLANs is to get a secured, reliable network. You can do VLANs by separating your devices into different VLANs. And each VLAN, you can do something like access control list to prohibit any communication between those VLANs as a kind of security. You can allow the communication between VLANs, depends on your scenarios, but all of that is supported by Amada controller.
Yeah, all these features we could definitely show in a demo. I just basically this webinar is to show some examples on key features that customers are utilizing today on the market. And it's one of the features that we just recently launched with our Amada SDN 5.9. So right now, this is the roadmap of what our software-defined network solution consists of, what we're trying to do. Right now, we're at SDN 5.9, correct, Michael?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So we're planning on launching 5.11 really soon. I believe it's on certain firmware of some on the software controller and cloud-based, depending on what the customers utilize.
Okay, for hardware controller, we will do SDN 5.11 very soon. For software controller, it will be 5.12. And one main feature here, it will be added to 5.11 and for sure to 5.12 is it's a new feature for our routers by adding multiple IPs on the WAN port.
Okay, excellent. So there'll be certain new features that will be added onto 5.11. We look forward to that. And then coming up real soon, we want to talk on our next webinar would be Wi-Fi 7, right? More and more devices and data, massive clients need to connect their network, especially for business needs. This is Wi-Fi 7 has just recently launched through TP-Link on Archers and as well as Decos. It's the upcoming Wi-Fi standard, also known as IEEE 802.11be, extremely high throughput. It works on a true tri-band, 2.4, 5, and 6 gigahertz, fully utilizing spectrum resources. So right now, we have these coming out in the near future in Q4, our EAP 780 and EAP 770. These will produce speeds up to BE 22,000 and BE 11,000, right? That's blazing speeds. Wow. So yeah, this is one area that we'd like to talk about on our next webinar, possibly coming up at the end of this quarter, to talk more about our access points, Wi-Fi 7 and Wi-Fi 6, and maybe even our gateways, to talk more about those features and how we could benefit your customers on their Omada network. Awesome. So, and then if you have any questions as far as Omada Facts, and you can't get a hold of myself or Michael, please utilize our website. You could utilize tplink.com /en support FAQ 2061. That will give you more facts about Omada. There's also some cool features on the support side that shows, I believe it shows like a test on Omada SDN, right? A software?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then you could also look at the compatibility list of Omada SKUs that's currently available. If you click on tplink.com /en Omada compatibility list, that will give you your full Omada compatibility list, or I can send that to you on a separate email. But yeah, these are certain features that Omada has. I'd love to show more intricate a demo on these products, as well as a demo kit if we want to try out Omada. These are things that we're open to and provide our customers with. So other than that, I'll leave it to Julie for any questions that you guys have towards Omada, as well as the software and the controllers. Julie?
Thank you very much, Glenn and Michael, for that wonderful presentation. And I'm sure everyone enjoyed it. And it looks like I do have some questions for you for sure. Let's get started with the first one. I'm not sure which one of you guys will decide who will answer, Glenn or Michael, but here we go. First question. Can you explain how the Omada SDN controller handles network traffic optimization and prioritization?
That's a good question.
That would be on the gateway routers, correct?
Yes, correct. So the controller doesn't replace any gateway. It's only to centralize the management of our Omada routers, switches, and access points. So the answer is the gateway who handle all the traffic optimization. You can control that through the controller, but instead of go to the router and configure some configuration, go to the switches and do some configuration, and go back and configure your access points, you can do all of that through the controller. So the controller, let's say the controller is one graphical user interface for all of these devices, but the gateways will handle all the traffic.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. We're going right into the next question. Is there a difference in price for the hardware, the software, and cloud controller?
Great question. I can answer that. Yes, there is a different price on the hardware on the OC200 and OC300, and Microcom can provide you with a quote on those pricing. The software is free. The only thing we recommend is when applying it to a PC or intranet to utilize the latest software and operating system, and we could send you exactly what the prerequisites are on that. And then for the cloud controller, that's $10 per year per device. So for instance, if you have a gateway with 2 access points and a switch, which is 4 devices, $40 per year per device. So fairly simple. We do offer certain incentives on a large order for cloud controllers, but we could talk that I'll talk that at a later time. It's just right now for now it's $10 per year per device.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Glenn, for that. Next question here. How does the Omada SDN controller help with troubleshooting network issues and identifying bottlenecks?
Bottlenecks, great question.
Yeah. Okay. So with the Omada controller, there are some features like statistics. Through these features, you can define any bottleneck. You can see the utilization of each switch and each router in your network. So with these features, it help you to identify what is the problem and how to figure it out.
Yeah.
It helps you to figure it out the problem.
And not to mention too, I think with those bottleneck questions, I think one major question is TP-Link. We provide full support on pre and post sales. So whenever bottlenecks do come in question, we could definitely get on a call or a Teams call to go through the cloud controller to make sure everything is set up properly as far as the topology goes, and just double check and go through exactly where the bottleneck is occurring and mitigate those issues. They have occurred, but normally the case would be either faulty cabling or basically a device that they don't really have that we need to upgrade. Like say they're utilizing a third-party router or gateway and they want to control it, we would actually recommend utilizing our gateway router. It's that simple. It's just a matter of properly, being available for the customer to troubleshoot them pre and post, and then make sure if any questions they have throughout the conversation, we're there to help.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Glenn and Michael, for that. Next question here. How does the Omada SDN controller handle firmware updates for connected devices?
Okay, so the controller will get all the firmware upgrades from the update servers, and then it doesn't push automatically the firmware upgrades. You can just simply, actually, you have 2 options. Either by doing that manually, the controller will show you that there is an firmware upgrade, let's say for your router.
You will be notified.
Yeah, and if you would like to do that or no, the other option is by scheduling a firmware upgrade.
Yeah.
It's under the services. It's a schedule like PoE scheduling and auto recovery, PoE auto recovery. There is another option to schedule a firmware upgrade, and the controller will do that automatically by getting the firmware upgrade from our update servers and push it to your devices.
Correct. And we could show, that seems like a question that would definitely be helpful as presenting a demo of Omada. Those are key things where obviously we could definitely show certain batch firmware updates, and we could show how to create that or make that happen, but also how to create scheduling alerts when these occurrences happen. Also, to answer the other question, if a device like logs into the network, you could get notified via an SMS or be alerted. There are some features on there on the dashboard that you could be alerted on when certain new connections become available, and that's something that we would love to show as a full demo, and we could talk more privately on that type of conversation.
Great. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to go on to the next question here. What are the primary security features provided by the Omada SDN controller?
So the security features, I think when we look at security features, we pretend to think it's more like a firewall, which is not. We want to sit it on the side of the appliance. It's a controller that sits on the network, not pushing through the network. I think a lot of clients will utilize the controller that sits in between, and we don't want it to do that. We want it to sit on the side where you have full management capabilities and you get alerted when system occurs. Correct, Michael?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's where if you want to use a third-party firewall, you certainly can, and it will allow you to. It's just a matter of how to position that firewall, that appliance to the network topology.
Yes. Now, at the same time, it's not our control, but it's our routers in general support basic security features like access control list, denial of service, block ping, such like that. We do all the basic security features.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Thanks, guys, again. Here we go for the next question. Are the notifications sent via email, text, or only on the controller?
Okay. Okay. Through the controller, you can enable email notification. You can do that by email notification, and through the app, it will show you like pop-up notification as any other mobile apps.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. Got a few more questions. Everyone's loving it today. As that's when we get a lot of questions. Next one here. Can you explain the concept of smart roaming and how it's implemented in Omada SDN?
So fast roaming and smart roaming is an advanced feature, right? That sits on the AP, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's on the AP,
Yeah.
and the controller can handle the fast roaming.
Yeah.
I mean, our access points support smart roaming or fast roaming, and you need the controller to enable this feature so the controller can get your information like your MAC address and move your device information between the access points. It depends on your location, depends on the nearest access point to your location.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Next question here. How does the Omada SDN controller support VLAN management?
Software controller.
Did you say software controller?
Let's see. I'll ask again. How does the Omada SDN controller support VLAN management?
Okay.
Okay. So actually, our routers and switches support VLAN management. As I said before, the controller is just a way to unify all the management for those devices. So whatever they do, it replicates on our devices. If you would like to do like management VLAN, you can do that on our switches and routers via the controller. So basically, our gateways and switches handle all the traffic and handle the management VLAN and all the other VLANs. But as I said before, the Omada controller, it's only a way to configure all these features and all these configurations through one interface.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. Couple more questions, guys. Let's see. We're going to be winding it down here soon. Next question is, which devices already have the controller built into it?
Great question. We didn't share it, but we do have one. We have it's called the ER7212 PC. It's a 3-in-1, which consists of a controller, gateway, and a 10-port switch. It is in stock and available. We definitely we like to set this up for the small to medium-sized businesses, 2 to 3 room, multiple clients. It's not I'm not saying it's a robust unit, but it's a great added value to support the small and medium business community.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Glenn. Last question here for you guys. Question is, can I install and configure devices with the Omada app?
Can you install?
Yes, you can do that, but you need a controller.
Yes.
The Omada app doesn't replace any controller.
No.
It's just a way to configure or to manage and monitor your controllers.
Correct.
You can do that, but I would prefer to use a laptop or a computer.
Correct.
Because of it's a bigger screen.
Yes.
That's it.
I think overall, the one big, when you start or begin Omada SDN for the controller, is you begin to set up your controller, depending on your 3 options, whether it be hardware, software, or cloud. The best way to do it is when customers log into Omada, to the omadacloud.tplink.com, they could create a user profile. It will start that will begin to create the controller profile of the person. It'll prompt them at the beginning to ask what type of controller they have. And then from there, it moves to exactly what you're doing. And then after you create that, now you have the access to either add more controllers or more devices, depending on where you see fit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, the Omada app is very useful if you would like to do or to use access points in standalone mode. It will help you to configure your access points. If you decide not to use a controller, for example, it's very helpful to set up your access points.
Correct. And if you guys need a demo to show a full solution on it, Omada, and especially the hardware as well, we're more than happy to schedule that at another time. That's not a question.
Excellent, Glenn and Michael, thank you so much. And yes, perhaps they would like to have a demo appointment set up with you guys. We'll definitely look into that. And thank you for everyone attending today's webinar. And if anyone does have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And if you wish to view any of the products mentioned or shown today, please remember this webinar presentation has been recorded and will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel so we can all view it again. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate your time and your excellent information that you shared with us today. Everybody, thank you and have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.